All right, chat. I'm not finna deal with y'all and y'all effery this morning. All right, you hear me? I'm not. Definitely not finna do that. But hey, look, check this out, right? On some real stuff, we got another video that I want to do another reaction to, right? The reaction videos on my page has been kind of booming lately, man. So we got to kind of milk that a little bit. You did, you know what I'm saying? But no, on some real stuff, I like, you know what I'm saying, looking at videos from like, I feel like people that are at the foundation. You get what I'm saying? People that are on the floor level. Because I feel like when you hear their side of the story, you somewhat get a non-biased opinion versus hearing a guy that has, 100K, 500K, a million subs and stuff like that. Because it's like, is he saying what he wants to say? Is he holding back a little bit? Is there some money involved, some handshaking in the background? That's just how I feel. I don't know how other people feel, but that's just how I feel. Now, this guy right here has 120-some thousand subscribers, so I might be biting my own words here. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But nonetheless, though, we're going to go ahead and check it out. I like the title. The title is what caught me. Streamers Lobbies of Black Ops 6 0.5 KD. Like always, man, make sure you give all credit to the original creator of the video. You know what I'm saying? Shout him out and stuff like that. You dig what I'm saying? And let's see what my man's is talking about, right? This is a manipulated. I never knew how to spell that word. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all, bro. Bro, spelling never been my strongest feature, bro. I didn't know that's how you spell that word right there. I just learned something new right now. But 0.5 KD live. Let's see what he's talking about. Is everything turned up? Let me know if it's too loud. Look who we got. Look, can somebody look at this? Can somebody look at this confused little rabbit right here? Look at this gerbil. This bad boy is crab walking sideways. Hit him on the top of the head.
This is a real lobby with real players, likely brand new ones or guys who are just getting home from work and trying to enjoy an evening casually playing themselves, that I have managed to manipulate Call of Duty's matchmaking system to get into. The average KD, as an estimate of what this lobby looks like, is probably somewhere in between 0.1 and 0.3. The KD of my account is somewhere between 3 and 4. So I have no business being in this Black Ops 6.
Now, let me also say this real quick, right? I've been camo grinding. So I've been using a lot of weapons that I don't really want to use. So that's why I feel like my KD is at a 2 point whatever. And me personally, I really don't care about what my KD is at. I mean, my KD can be at a 0.8. All I care. Like, I play Call of Duty to have fun, all right? I'm not no sweat. I'm not no try hard. I can get a little air once in a while, but that's not my forte, all right? I like to go outside. I like to kiss and, do things with beautiful women. That's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit here all day long. Now, maybe in the next life or maybe in a couple months, we don't know. Maybe things might work in the right way. Maybe we might get enough viewership where we can sit here all day long. But for right now, though, I go outside. You feel me? So with that being said, I hope that was able to persuade you a little bit like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't care about KD. I more look at a person and their personality. That's just me, though. But carry on.
Lobby, but I've been able to achieve it. And today, I wanted to talk about how these lobbies are starting to become more commonplace, and people are starting to manipulate skill-based matchmaking to get into games with brand new players, including a large number of large content creators who are either doing this to farm content or potentially doing this for other opportunities like tournaments. Now, I'm going to start this video with a disclaimer. This is not a public advertisement on how to break skill-based matchmaking. This is not me giving you a 10-step method on what to do, but rather a conversation that people are cheating the system in ways that other people can't access, and people are doing things that are fairly unethical that are ruining the gameplay experiences of the large majority of casual players. At a frequency that I'm...
See, this is the one thing. I might get a lot of flack for this. This is a hot take. I might get a lot of flack for this. But this is the one thing that always, rubbed me the wrong way when People be trying to make a video and they trying to make their point across and they trying to seem like they're so ethical and we, you know, I do everything by the book. You know, I follow the rules. I do it all but to the T. You know, I don't take no shortcuts, none of this and that. You know what I'm saying? I wake up every day. I go to work. I work 12 hours. I sweat my ass off. I come home. I cut the grass. I take the trash out. I cook food for the family. My wife doesn't do nothing. And I go to sleep and I repeat and rinse again the next day. It's like, bro, that's tough. Chill, bro. We get it, bro. But goddamn, you ain't got to push this ethical. You know, some people got to have, you know, say certain type of morals about themselves. Bro, if this is what people want to do, bro, then this is what people want to do. Who cares? People reverse boosting, 2 bucks and whatever is not paying my bills. It's not putting no extra money in my pocket. It's not doing none of that. Me personally, I can't really give 2 F's who does it. Okay? That's just me, though. I don't care. Because once again, I keep on telling y'all this. I'm not watching these streamers and YouTubers for their amazing gameplay. That's not what gravitated me towards them. Yes, them playing Call of Duty is what made me click on their video or click on their page, yes. But what made me sit there and watch the video and stay and be a viewer was their personality. It wasn't their gameplay, all right? The number one person that I watch all the time is Murder Show. We all know Murder Show. He's reverse boosting or whatever. We all know that. Like, it's easy to see that. But he's entertaining, though, okay? If I want to watch some sweat tryhards, then I will go and watch them, but that's not my forte because I'm not a sweat or tryhard. Now, I get it. If you're a sweat or tryhard and you want to watch other sweats or tryhards, then there's a category and a genre for that. But I'm more of the making funny videos, you know, arguments, lobby art. You know, I like watching those type of Call of Duty content. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I can really give 2 L's if a person is reverse boosting or not. And then, you know, on the other foot, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to sit there and be like, well, they're lying to the community because they're not telling them and blah, blah, blah and all this. Bro, I'm sorry. Once again, this is a hot take, so this might rub some people the wrong way. If people cannot sit there and watch somebody's content for 2 minutes and tell that these people are not shooting back, these people are moving like robots, these people are doing all this robotic type stuff and can't take that and differentiate from a normal skill-based matchmaking lobby or a reversed boosted 2-box lobby, then bro, it's shame on you, bro. Like, it's shame on you, bro. I'm sorry, it's shame on you. And you cannot sit here and tell just by looking at the content that this is not a 2-box or a reverse boosted lobby right here. I'm sorry. It's just shame on you, man. I'm not finna sit here and hold your goddamn hand. Some of you motherfuckers are grown as hell. I'm sorry. That's tough. I know it sounds tough, but some of y'all are grown as hell and y'all cannot tell the difference. Goddamn. How the hell did you make it this far in life without something bad happening to you? Holy shit. I know that sounds mean and whatever, but I just got to be the one to say it, bro. I'm not finna sit here and hold your hand if you can't sit here and tell the difference between the two. Like, come on now.
I'm starting to see so much more often that I actually think it's worth talking about.
Goddammit.
Since the release of Black Ops 6, skill-based matchmaking has been the largest discussion I have seen online between content creators, streamers, and professionals of the game. And it's a conversation that ultimately exists in the top 1% bracket of players, is people who feel battered and bruised by the SBMM system, and that conversation has trickled down to their wider audiences. And chances are, if you're watching this video right now, you probably have some fairly strong opinions on skill-based matchmaking that you can drop in the comments section down below, whilst leaving a like and subscribe, because these deep dive videos take a long time, and you can support this channel and make it go burr. We're on the road to 200k, so it would be very helpful. And
Get
Call
him
of
to
Duty
200K.
have released their own public
Get him
white
to
papers
200K.
explaining why skill-based matchmaking exists and explaining why in their testing they decided to keep it. Now, for those of you who missed that information, this entire PDF document that they released basically explained that when SBMM was on, the vast majority of the wider player base were protected, and many of them stayed online and enjoyed their games and basically stayed on the game. Player retention was high, and they got what they wanted. When SBMM was turned off, player retention basically nosedived, specifically amongst players who were far more casual and have a lower skill set, and they make up the vast majority of the player base. So SBMM on meant that the top 1% of players were leaving more frequently, but did come back because they generally engage with the game to that level. But SBMM off meant that the vast majority of players were actually leaving, and the top 1% were a little bit more appeased.
And with that being said, common sense should tell you that the reason why skill-based matchmaking exists in the first place because the casual player makes up the majority of the demographic when it comes to Call of Duty on this game. They make up the majority of the demographic. I know there's tons of sweats out there, but you got to think about it. When you have a player base of millions upon millions, you running into 20, 30, 40, 50,000 sweats may seem like a lot thinking about it visually, but when you have a player base of millions, is 0.00001%. Like, honestly, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same token as well, in the same air that I want to say this to as well, I get why skill-based matchmaking is here, but another thing that I wish that more people will talk about, with people sitting there and doing this whole reverse boosting, two boxing and all this old stuff, and going to these other lobbies and pub stomping people and stuff like that, that eventually people will get off the game because so many people are doing it. I think I'm saying this right. But people eventually will get off the game, meaning the casual player, because so many people are reverse boosting and getting into these lobbies right here, and they will get off the game. And with them getting off the game, Activision, whoever controls that white sheet or the algorithm in the background, will see that, damn, even with skill-based matching on, people are still getting off the game and leaving the game and stuff like that. What's the issue? And eventually will turn the shit off because now they see that it doesn't matter if it's on or off. People are getting off the game. What the F? You get what I'm saying? I think I say that right. I hope that made sense. In my head, it made sense, but I hope it made sense to y'all. Goddamn, I know sometimes I talk a little ebonics, but work with me. Just work with me, right? But that being said, and also too as well, I feel like this as well, right? How do you feel playing a game with skill-based matchmaking involved and you're being pretty much handicapped playing against people around your skill level, not knowing how truly good or bad you are? Like, this right here is a false sense of hope that these players are facing. And this is why, even on my page, I see these comments and it just baffles me. Like, bro, do you understand what you just said right there? You must be a lower skill player. And you play in a whole different world of lobbies that I don't play in. So obviously you will never understand what I'm trying to say or what I'm conveying in this video right here. You will never understand that because you play in a lower tier lobby. Like, it just baffles me that people out here playing in lower tier lobbies. I don't know what you're talking about, man. You just got to get gooder. You know what I'm saying? I go positive in my games all the time. Bro, you play in a lobby with a bunch of 0.7, 0.8, no, 1.0 players. The fuck? Like, what is that, bro? What is that? We're playing a whole different game right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving these players this protection where they never know the truth. Like, they're truly being lied to. Like, that right there is the true sickening part about this. And it just baffles me that, certain communities in the Call of Duty community, certain people, YouTubers, whatever, will get on other people for doing what they're doing, but still they're not attacking the bigger elephant in the room, which is Activision, which is the reason why this skill-based matchmaking is, involved right here. You get what I'm saying? Like, I get that this streamer or content creator or whatever is reverse boosting or whatever or two boxing. I get that. But don't get mad at him and make all these hateful videos, how you got all these channels out here and this guy here right here, he's a reverse boosting bitch and all this. So why are we getting mad at the guy that's abusing the system that was put in place by Activision? Don't get mad at the player, hate the game. Why we all coming down on this guy right here for abusing the system? Get mad at Activision for putting this system in place. Because if skill-based matchmaking never existed, then that content creator or that streamer or whoever could never do that exploit. So now it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. If skill-based matchmaking never existed, these players right here that's in these lower tier lobbies would not be getting lied to, would not be getting manipulated. Us at average and higher tier levels, we could get more of a mixed variety, and we could stop bitching and moaning and complaining about being in the sweat fest all the time. And the people that's doing the fuckery with the reverse boosting and the two boxing and all that old shit, they couldn't do that no more because there's no skill-based matchmaking existing no more. Like you'll take away three things right there with one clean swoop if you just take away SB and M. That's it. It's like, goddamn, man, that shit just bobbles me sometimes.
We will touch on skill-based matchmaking and why it exists and why it has to exist later on in this video. And if the video evidence in the background is anything to go off of,
what did he just say? Did he just say why? We're going to talk about why it needs to exist.
Making seemingly against the grain that SBMM is a necessity might not actually be all that controversial, because some of these guys literally aren't even shooting back at me. The reason this video exists and the reason I'm discussing matchmaking manipulation today is because I've started to realize it's becoming more commonplace. I've seen clips on Twitter, I have seen streamers publicly doing it, but without publicly telling their audiences, and I've even seen some streamers, which power to them, doing it publicly and actually publicly disclosing it, like this Australian lad who has a 20 KD, but at least is being honest about the fact that he's manipulating matchmaking. And the reason I'm discussing it now and haven't necessarily in the past is because it's becoming so widespread and so commonplace that I genuinely do believe it's starting to affect a large number of casual players. And on top of that, the methods, which I won't detail in full detail, have actually become so accessible that within 4 or 5 clicks, pretty much nearly anybody is capable of doing this, and pretty much nearly anybody is capable of compromising a very large casual player pool. And there are more ethical concerns beyond that. You know, we're talking about people who are farming clips for content, which maybe isn't the worst thing in the world and probably something you can look past, but...
And I ain't gonna lie, for you being in a 0.5 KD lobby and you say that you're a 3.0 player, you're moving a little... You know, I seen that little jump that you did on that ladder right there. You know, I might be... My bad. Come on now, dog. My bad. I might be picking fun.
Come on, man.
My bad. It's early in the morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. My bad. But I'm just saying. You know, the little jump, look a little robotic because you missed it the first time. And then, you know, for a guy that's a, 3 KD guy, you think you have a little bit more spatial awareness. You didn't see that motherfucker to the side of you? I'm just saying.
But some of those guys might be getting tournament invites over other players. Some of them might be claiming that they're the best gamer in the world and that they're the best Call of Duty player and generally getting capital from that, when in reality, they're not that great and they're just manipulating the system. Generally speaking, all of this started to rub me the wrong way, because what people don't realize is that they're ultimately destroying an experience for the vast majority of the player base, and I just think generally not being honest about it and...
But, bro, this is the part that I don't understand right here. Like, see, this is this ethical, Robin Hood-ass mentality that some of these guys got. And I'm not coming down on this guy. He has his opinion, and he has the right and the title to his opinion. I have my opinion, and I have the right and title to my opinion. I'm just doing a reaction. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Most shout out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I be talking about, this whole, like... They try to make it seem like a motherfucker is breaking the law or something. It's like, what? Like, bro, it's not that serious, bro. They're destroying the casual player. You know, the casual player can't come on here and just have fun. They got to deal with these streamers and YouTubers. Get better! Like, I'm sorry, man. You got to get better. You got to get better. You got to get better. That's it. You got to get better. Because this is what the real world is. When a streamer, YouTuber, whatever, reverse boost or whatever and goes down to your lobbies and you get pub stomped on, that right there should be a green light like, damn, I'm really not that good at this game. Yeah, you think? You think? Or you just want to go your whole life just being lied to, thinking that you're good at something when you're really not. Because the good players are being kept away from you. You're in your own little small little utopia world where it's like watching an ant farm. Anybody ever had an ant farm when they was younger? It's like looking at an ant farm and you just see all the little ants just doing their little thing, living their little lives and stuff, moving the grains and making their little paths and all that. Also, look, this happened. This the fun time in the world that somebody like me comes and just stomps on it. Or somebody else like a streamer or whoever just comes through and just stomps on it and kills them all. Maybe that's a bad analogy. I don't know. My bad. My bad. I didn't mean to get a little too dark there. My bad about that. But you get the analogy that I'm trying to say, though. If skill-based matchmaking never existed, we wouldn't be having this debacle right here. We wouldn't. I'm sorry. But these players that's in these protected lobbies, they need to know what the fuck is really out here. And skill-based matchmaking is keeping them away from that shit. They need to know that, hey, you might run across a motherfucker that's gonna wax that ass. You feel me? They need to understand and feel that. But for people to sit here and be like, oh, it's unethical for people to, be reverse boosting and going down to those lobbies and stuff like that. It's like, bro, if that's what they want to do, bro, that's what they want to do, bro. Like, who am I to stop this person from doing that? Yes, I can make a video, make fun of him or whatever, but at the end of the day, who am I to stop this guy from doing that? If that's what that guy wants to do, then that's what that guy wants to do. But let's stop make it seem like it's a crime or something for reverse boosting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be making it seem like a motherfucker just murdered somebody and got away with it cold-bloodedly. It's like, bro, it's at the end of the day, it's a video game. We have bigger things to worry about. I'm not worried about somebody reverse boosting. I'm not worried about somebody two-boxing. I'm not worried about that. Oh, I'm at a lower tier level, and a guy that's at a higher tier level was able to manipulate the system in a way to get into my lobby and whoop my ass and made me go 0-40. That's just letting me know, like, goddamn, I really do suck at this game. Maybe I need to find a new hobby. That's what I'll tell myself. Not sit there and cry about it and be like, why is all these streamers coming into my lobby? These are my lobbies. These are my lobbies. I wouldn't say that. The world has gotten soft, y'all. I gotta say that, man. The world is so soft these days, bro. It's crazy how soft the world is these days, bro. Hey, hold on a second. My coffee and stuff is outside. Give me 1 second. But I'm sorry, man. The world has gotten soft, man. Like, I come from a different generation where when I was young, bullies used to be bullies. Punks used to be punks. You know what I'm saying? Kids used to fight. Kids used to call each other the F word and all this old stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the world that I grew up in. You know, you get jumped on and all that stuff, but it built character. It made you a stronger person when you got older. Now in today's society, these kids are growing up as, and I don't want to use the words that I want to use because I'm just not going to say it. But these kids are growing up soft, man. They're growing up soft, man. God damn, these kids are growing up soft, man. Everybody growing up soft, calling police. You know what I'm saying? Talk shit on the internet, but when you come to I'm going to call the cops. Like, bro, you just talking shit, bro. You don't want to fight me? The world is soft, man. And it ain't gotten so soft that it's gotten into video games, man. It's like, man, watch out, man. Let these motherfuckers really know what the real world is, man. Everybody trying to protect motherfuckers and shit like that for they continue to live their little fantasy utopia world and shit. Let them know that the world is really a big bad place. God, that's how I grew up. I grew up knowing that the world was a big bad place. But you got these motherfuckers 22, 23 years old still thinking that the Tooth Fairy is real and Santa Claus is real. It's like, come on, bro.
Claiming to be the best or post all of these clips of you being the best is pretty insane. Like, I think that's wild without even publicly disclosing how you're doing it. To cut a long story short, the whole situation is just starting to rub me up the wrong way, and I would rather audiences are more actively aware of this so that they can combat some of the nonsense that they're seeing online, as opposed to not being aware of it. Now granted, this isn't a free pass for you to look at any good COD clip that exists on the internet and say that somebody is cheating or manipulating the game. And I will explain that there are some general variances here that does mean that this stuff is still doable without manipulating anything. But much like the new age era of artificial intelligence creating images that your nan on Facebook will like, there have been a number of nukes dropped in Black Ops 6 recently that are entirely fraudulent and just should never have happened. So much so that CDL pros were confused as to how people were getting nukes when they were fighting for their damn lives with a 1.2 KD. So let's talk about the method. Now, some of you are going to be aware of this system, and it's called two-boxing. And generally, the basic principle is that you take an account that's extremely high level that you want to use for cameras, whatever you want to do with it. Maybe you just want easy lobbies, whatever the situation so happens to be. And you join an extremely new low-level account in order to get easier lobbies, generally dragging the SBMM
Flies on his
down.
preacher shit this
now,
morning.
Call of Duty actually has mitigations to this. And if you join somebody whilst they're searching for a match, it will actually cancel the search and research again in order to get optimum SBMM of a lobby that it thinks makes sense for this wider range of KDs. So if you happen to join during the search process...
You know another thing that I love about these people, and it's not just him, but I hear this all the time, though. They sit here and criticize people that's doing it. They sit here and say how unethical, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You got to do it. But yet they sit there in the same breath of air or in the same video and tell you how to do it. It's like, wow. What if I was a person that didn't know how to do it and stuff like that, and now you just gave me the key, how to do it? It's like, bro, once again, this is what I be talking about. I really feel like these people that be making these videos, they truly don't care. They just know that these videos get views. But I really feel like they don't care. They just know that it's clickbaitable. It's clickbaitable. The title is clickbaitable. That's why I clicked on it. It's clickbaitable. But for somebody that truly had a passion of people not doing this, wouldn't sit here and tell you how to do it. Like, that's just hypocritical right there. Did that make sense? I think that made sense, right? Hopefully it made sense, y'all.
It will make sure that it readjusts its average to get you the correct lobby that it feels you should be
All right,
in
bet.
with a general mix of skill brackets that exist in your lobby. Which is why many of you who have played solo probably find the solo experience to be more sweaty than playing with teammates. I've actually often invited my viewers to join me in my party, and that has exponentially changed the average of the lobby. And I'm very publicly transparent about that. Not only is it a great way for me to play with guys who support my channel, but yeah, it does generally make it a bit more of a mixed bag experience. However, the situation has changed so that if you join an account after it's completed the matchmaking searching progress and is actually in a physical lobby that's populating, you can join a lobby like the ones you're seeing in the background that you definitely shouldn't be in. Historically, you would technically need a second PC or a second console, or you would need lots of money and spend lots.
It's like telling a crackhead. It's like telling a crackhead that you shouldn't do drugs, you shouldn't smoke crack. But yet, I'm gonna lay all the crack out in front of you though. But don't touch it though. Don't touch it. But all the crack is right there in front of you though. It's like, what? Why did you just tell everybody how to do it?
Lots of money on lots of different copies of the game. So the barrier to entry for how people have been doing this has been a cost issue. Now, I'm not going to reveal how, and I'm not going to talk about the full ins and outs of it because I don't want to be seen as publicizing something that I feel is compromising to the wider player base, which I...
You just explained to us how to do it! Like, are you serious?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Bro, you literally just sat there and explained to us how to do two-boxing. But then you gonna come back and say that right there? That's tough!
Congratulations! Oh my God. What more do you want from me? All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
It's like, come on, bro. I can't. Let me just watch.
I think is genuinely an issue, but for a handful of clicks and for a very little amount of cash now, this is something that nearly anybody can do. And in fact, it's become so commonplace and so common that in the 4 or 5 tests I did to do this video and record this footage, because I do not want to be compromising people's lobbies and I don't want to be destroying basically games I have no business being in, I actually ran into other people doing it. I saw people with diamond camos and dark matter and people with extremely high prestige accounts existing in lobbies that they shouldn't have been in. It's becoming so frequent that you...
But I mean, Call of Duty is a game that anybody from the lowest tier to the highest tier can have the camo, and anybody from the lowest tier to the highest tier can have that rank. Like, the rank doesn't go off your KD. It just goes off of time being played and how much time you play the game. That's it. I can be a 10th prestige, level 500, everything dark matter, and still be at a 0.003 KD. it doesn't matter. So that right, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. See, this is what when I see and watch and hear these, this is what I'm, you know what I'm saying? I take everything as a grain of salt and I just soak it in and I just say it what it is. Like, I just call it what it is.
You can actually identify people manipulating matchmaking that shouldn't be in a lobby just by the sheer level of their character alone and the camos that they have unlocked.
No, you
Granted,
can't.
you will get the odd player
No, you can't.
who is of a high prestige and
I just
has a couple
explained
of
why you
camos
can't.
who's actually got a very, very low KD, but that's very rare. In my experience, most of these lobbies are players who are level 0 to 45. Most of them are players who will barely shoot back at you. Most of them are players just going about their business after a long day of work. But every once in a while, you will spot somebody running around who's very clearly manipulating the system to be in a lobby that they otherwise shouldn't be in. I think the footage in the background speaks for itself, and I should clarify, this wasn't even me trying particularly hard. I'm very confident if I full forehead moded this and used the most maximum perks and weapons and things available to me, I probably could have dropped lots of easy nukes that I could have farmed for impressions on Twitter, or could have farmed for easy likes on Instagram or TikTok. Hell, as a streamer and content creator, it would have been entirely easy to record videos or even live stream this process without actually showing you how I was doing it. And if you're still watching the video at this point, it's clear that SBMM exists for a reason. Now, I do want to clarify, the average KD of a player in Call of Duty Warzone is 0.86, which means that if you are 0.86 and above, you are above average. If you are 0.86 and below, you are just ever so slightly below average.
Okay.
But in itself, a negative KD is extremely standard in Call of Duty Warzone, and that number changes a little based on multiplayer. If you're above a 2 KD in Warzone, you're in the top 1% of all players. And Warzone has millions of players. And if you're above 3.5, you are in the 0.1% bracket.
And the reason why it's like that, it differentiates from Warzone to regular multiplayer, because in multiplayer, the games are just, so you're constantly getting killed and you're constantly killing people. So there's a wider number. Versus Warzone, you can go the whole game and get 1 kill or get 2 kills and die one time, and that right there, you know what I'm saying, will differentiate your KD. So that's why, you know, in Warzone, if you're a 1 point, let's just say hypothetically, right? In Warzone, let's say you're a 1.75. You're a real good ass Warzone player. A 1.75 or a 2.0 in Warzone, you're a real ass good ass player in Warzone, because the kill to death ratio is so much smaller. Versus multiplayer, if you're a 1.5 or 1.7, whatever, you know, you could be considered average. You get what I'm saying?
0.1% of millions of players. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it's the illusion of the 1%. Content creators and streamers, myself included, have spoken about SBMM at length, and we've created a conversation online where SBMM is being viewed as something that's heavily frowned upon. Ultimately, because most of us are top 1% or top 0.1% players. And that conversation has bled down to players who are of substantially lower skills and KDs. And because you guys are experiencing skill-based matchmaking and you are playing players who are of your caliber, you think the same as what we think. When in reality, what's actually occurring here is a trickle-down conversation where the top 1% of players have convinced players that they themselves want to basically manipulate and be against, that SBMM is an issue. And it isn't. It exists for a reason. Look at these lobbies. These guys are people who have never spoken about COD Online, don't have Twitter, don't have Reddit, don't engage in these conversations, probably just got home from a night shift or school and are just looking to play the game. And they make up the vast majority of the player base. And because we've propagated this conversation online as content creators and streamers at a higher level, it means that it's trickling down to audiences across all levels. And even if you're a 0.8 KD, a 0.9 KD, a 1 KD, a 1...
But it can trickle down, but it's going to come to a point where a guy that's a 0.5 KD or 0.6 KD, they're going to try to 2-box, and they're going to be like, oh, 2-box doesn't work. The lobbies are still sweaty. Yeah, because there's no point. Like, you started off as a 0.5. When you 2-box, you got put right back into a 0.5 KD lobby. Like, you're already too low, bro. Like, 2-box is not going to work for you. It's not going to change nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to come to a point where everybody's gonna start doing it, and it's going. And then this is another thing too as well. Let's just say hypothetically, right? Let's just say hypothetically, if everybody $2 is everybody $2, do you know how mix of a bag the lobbies would be if everybody $2? From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, it's like us as a community, us as the people, we have taken over the government. We have taken over the Communist Party of Activision, because now we're all manipulating the algorithm where we're all from the 0.8s to the 1.1s to the 1.5s to 1.7s to 2.0s to 3.0s to 5.0s. We're all in the lobby together now because we're all manipulating skill-based matchmaking. Man, vote me for president. Vote me for the motherfucking president. That's what we all should goddamn do. For real, we all should do it. For we all can manipulate this motherfucker. For we all can have this regular ass lobbies. I know somebody gonna say, I can't believe he really just said that. Is he agreeing with that? Don't take what I say out of context. I know I'll be reading the comments. Some of y'all with your milkshake of mine. Hey, y'all like how I just pulled that milkshake out of nowhere with your smoothie type mindset. I know some of y'all will take that and try to run with it. Don't take what I said out of context, man. Really listen to what the fuck I just said.
1.1 KD, all of you are experiencing SBMM, and you are being placed into lobbies that Call of Duty thinks is effective for you. But that's because you guys don't have a visual understanding of what substantially worse or what substantially better looks like. If you are a 1 KD player, a 1 KD lobby is going to look like hell on earth for you. But in reality, 3, 4, 5 KD lobbies do exist that may make your version of hell look like a nice little walk through the park. And if you're a 0.8 KD player, the same principle applies. But because you guys...
No, that's factual about that. And that's what I be meaning about people coming into the comment section. They just don't know. Like, a person that's a true 1.0 KD person playing against other 1.0 KD people, they gonna think in their head that this is the worst of the worst. This is hell on earth to them. But to somebody that's a 1.5 or a 2.0 or a 2.5, they can go into their lives and be like, bro, this ain't shit right here. This is cakewalk. And so on and so forth, you know, going up the totem pole and going down the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? So no, he's factual about that one. I'll definitely agree with him 110% on that one.
Don't know that these lobbies exist where players don't shoot back, don't leave crouching. Some of them don't use any movement at all. In fact, there are a couple of players in this who do genuinely just crouch around the map, crab walking the entire time. You're entirely unaware of the fact that SBMM is existing because these players shouldn't be facing you. And they shouldn't. So we have this top-down conversation where players who are the most burnt out by SBMM, and also the players who generally have the largest following because they are content creators, are basically saying that SBMM shouldn't be a thing and expanding a conversation to a vocal majority when in reality, SBMM is protecting a very unvocal majority. This is not me saying SBMM is perfect, by the way. Absolutely no way, shape, or form. Now, I will admit, credit where credit's due, Call of Duty is genuinely adjusting matchmaking based on the caliber of the number of players you matchmake with when...
But I'm sorry, man. I just still don't agree with that principle right there. Like, why, spoon-fed these people into thinking that they're good at a game when that is not the reality? Like, they truly living in a utopia world, thinking that they're good at something and they're not. Like, I feel like honesty should be people always say honesty is the best policy. Well, why is Activision as a company, a multi-billion-dollar company, lying to the majority of their player base that's playing casual, thinking that this is how Call of Duty is, when this is not how Call of Duty is? Y'all are playing a different game than what a lot of other people are playing. You're dividing people. You're dividing people, and it's coming onto the YouTube scene, coming into comment sections. You got people that's 0.8 looking at people that's 3.0s or 2.5s and like, what is they crying about? You just need to get better at the game. I play all the time, and my games just be just fine because you're playing a different game than I am. You're dividing people. You got people separating from each other and stuff like that. You're just causing a clusterfuck into the Call of Duty community because of this skill base. You see how evil and manipulative skill-based matchmaking is? It's so evil, bro. That's nothing but witchcraft. Skill-based matchmaking is nothing but witchcraft. It's devil work. That's worldly things. That's what my grandfather used to say back in the day when I used to play rap music around him and shit like that. He's like, quit playing all that worldly shit around me. I'm like, worldly? What is that? What is worldly shit? But that's what he's always saying, like, quit playing all that worldly shit. Or if he sees somebody doing something, he'll be like, oh, you doing all that worldly stuff. You're doing things of the... When I got older, I finally realized what the fuck he meant. You're doing things of the world. Well, you know what I'm saying? You're doing ungodly light things. You're doing worldly things. For the longest, I didn't know what the fuck he meant when he said that shit. I thought he was... You know what I'm saying? I thought he was smoking or something. We ain't gonna talk about that.
When you go into a lobby, I've actually been able to play Black Ops 6 this year with friends of substantially lower skill standards because they are trying to create a fairer average, and I've seen this play out in real time. But there are more wider issues, like how strong should SBMM be in a casual playlist versus a ranked playlist? And also, how much variance should there be? I find in my experience that SBMM does not bend or break, even if I'm having particularly bad sets of games. By design, for me, it's an imperfect system, but almost a necessary evil, because as this gameplay is illustrated in the background, there are players who simply just shouldn't be in the same bracket as someone like me, and should never ever have to run into me. And the reason this video exists is just to make you guys aware of this. There is a whole mystery around how do streamers do this? Do content creators do this? How are people manipulating lobbies? Is SBMM manipulatable? And the answer is yes, and it's happening at a pretty wide space scale, at least in the content creation.
I'm gonna say this too as well. I know I'm pausing a lot. Please forgive me, but I feel like Activision at this point, I think they're pro two boxing. They're pro reverse because they know that if you two box, that means that you got to buy the game twice. I think they're all for it. Oh, these people want to get easier lobbies. Give us another $70. You can have all the easy lobbies. Just buy the game twice. I think they're all for it. I mean, we already know that Activision is greed hungry. So I'm sure that they know that people do this and they will never change it. Just for that simple fact that, okay, it's going to be 20 million casual players that's going to buy the game. But there's also going to be another 5 million people that's going to buy the game twice because they want a two box and get into easy lobbies. It's just boosting their sales up. They don't give a fuck. Buy it twice. Buy it 3 times. Buy it 4 times. As long as you keep on giving us money. They don't care. They don't care. So once again, it comes back to the greater evil. Activision. The greater evil.
Seen from what I've seen, and I want to talk about it publicly and transparently because somebody needs to. But before I wrap this video up, I do want to say this is not a universal red card for you to walk around to every clip online, every good gameplay, and run around saying to people, hey bro, nice 2-box, nice SBMM manipulator, nice cheats bro. SBMM as a system has natural variance based on player population. I stream, for example, from 9 AM to 1 PM, and granted, SBMM generally is quite weaker during that time because it has a more limited player pool to operate with.
So you're playing the
easier
easier
lobbies.
lobbies.
Will play from 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening onwards, which is when it's at its absolute peak because it has the largest player pool to operate from.
So we're playing the harder lobbies.
Natural variance. And I come from somebody as a streamer who has a background of never really manipulating matchmaking beyond going to North America when there's a lot of cheaters in Europe. And even I've had numerous accusations of two-boxing, VPNing, basically people just laying claims about technicalities that they don't really understand in terms of how COD's matchmaking system works. And that's with what I'd call very average to average plus gameplay, some pretty exceptional gameplay in places. But generally speaking, a broken clock is right twice a day, and SBMM is a system that will adapt, ebb and flow on various circumstances for certain reasons. So you shouldn't be running around telling people that their clips are absolutely horrendous because they've manipulated gameplay. But what I will say is this. There are a section of creators and a section of gameplay players who post these clips online who have these lobbies permanently, from start to finish, from the first video they've made to the videos they're making now, and from the clips that they're farming online. And that is a conscious decision that they are consciously making. And if
so basically what he's saying is, and this is how it is being registered in my head, right? People that's reverse boosting, people that's two boxing, they're getting these they're getting these gameplays unorganically. But if a person goes negative for the next 5 games, they will get an easy lobby and then drop a nuke. That's organic. So that's acceptable. Or what he said, playing early in the morning where the majority of the world, people are at school or people are at work, playing early in the morning or streaming early in the morning, skill-based matchmaking is a lot weaker because it's a smaller player pool to choose from. So you get easier lobbies that way. That's another thing he's saying versus playing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon where everybody is playing and there's a bigger player pool to play against. I still don't get the argument. Because at the end of the day, for somebody to drop a nuke, for somebody to get 101, kills in the game, obviously the other team was that weak. So if it's from two boxing, reverse boosting, playing early in the morning, losing 5 games legitly, teaming up with people that suck, which is like 5 boosting, but teaming up with people that sucks, it's like it all funnels down to the same thing. The only way you was able to get this gameplay is because you played against a weaker competition. That's it. You can watch the pros all the time. When they play against people at their level, they're all going even Steven. Nobody's really popping off like that. They're all going even Steven because they're all playing at the same skill level. So for him to sit here and say that, it's like, bro, it's like, come on. Like, it is 8:30 in the morning right now. You got TP. He streams every day in the morning. You got Nate Shot on. He streams every day in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You have Scum. He be on in the morning. You got all these top streamers. They all stream in the morning. So do I need to sit here and type in their comment section like, hey, bro, the only reason why you stream in the morning because the skill-based matchmaking is a lot weaker because the majority of the sweats and tryhards are at school or at work. Like, that just sounds stupid right there for me to say that. But that's basically what he's somewhat saying, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what he's somewhat saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
They haven't been honest about it.
I might get a lot of flack for this video.
I might get a lot of flack. Wider player base, and I won't defend them for doing that, and I don't think most people will. And in fact, if some of the clips that I've seen online are anything to go by, the comment sections are getting a little bit feisty with it. Now, there is a wider conversation to be had here. Should SBMM exist to this capacity? Is it ruining the idea that there are good players out there when CDL pros are getting 1.2 KDs because they're facing some of the world's best? And have we stripped away the ability for players to be uniquely quite talented at these games? Because if they are talented, in the eyes of an SBMM-based system, maybe they're doing something sketchy. Those are definitely wider conversations. They're conversations that affect me as a streamer and content creator myself who gets numerous cheating accusations on a daily basis. But I think the reality is clear. There is a very easily manipulatable matchmaking system that exists in Call of Duty right now. It is happening more than people think it is. It is easier to do more than people think it is. And because of those two variables, that's why I've brought this video to you today. So folks, if you found this video interesting, if you found it enjoyable, drop a like, send it to a friend, post it on Reddit, I don't bloody care. Help me
Bravo,
get
good
this
video,
channel to
good
200K
video.
this year.
Very good
I really
video.
appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos as well on Call.
Very good video. Definitely give him a follow, give him a shout out. Definitely check his page out and stuff like that. I just started following him the other day when I ran across his page and shit like that. But I wanted to make a reaction to that video real quick. I thought that was very interesting. But no, he talks about a lot of good points and stuff like that or whatever. But it's just at the end of the day, if skill-based matchmaking did not exist, we wouldn't even be having these arguments, these topics, these debates about who's cheating, who's not, who's reverse boosting, who's not, who's doing some fucker, we wouldn't even have none of this if just skill-based matchmaking did not exist. And at the end of the day, that's the person I'm gonna be more mad about is Activision. That's just me. Y'all can have your own opinion how y'all feel about it, but that's just me. I'm more mad at Activision because look at what they're doing to the community. You got people fighting and trying to figure out somebody. Bro, it's like, come on, dog. Have we really gotten down to this low of a point? Let's continue to talk about the greater good and trying to get these folks to alleviate skill-based matchmaking. You dig? Like, that's just my opinion, though. Other people have other opinions, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?